Okay. Okay, here we go. Now we're good. You guys should be able to hear me. You know the rules. Unplug it and plug it back in. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Now that we have audio, and let me turn the mic gain down because I'm peeking out a little bit here. So let me get situated. Okay. So I'm not sure what that was about. And normally, honestly, I check to make sure that the mic is working before I launch it. But I came straight upstairs, fired the computer up, and that's what I get for not checking. Imagine that. Something didn't work for once. So, everybody, what's going on? I see WS6, Mike, Jonathan, Dave, Jay Thump, Chris, Cole, Matt, William, Snow, Joseph, Scott, Schmidt, Zaydula Soul. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Love the battery-powered socket wrench. Yeah, those things are amazing. Well, Moto, literally, the Typhoon is still up on jack stands. Got nothing done on the brakes. So tired of ordering Typhoon parts that don't fit because the Typhoon is so goofy. Welcome, Miguel. So, not as much. I'm hoping Saturday. I was hoping tomorrow I would be able to knock out the brakes and get the thing back on the road. But it looks like it's going to be Saturday because I'm still waiting on parts. And it's just small, annoying things, which makes it even worse. So, but what's going on? Feed me some information here. We tuning? Is anybody out there tuning right now? Well, not right now. Obviously, you're on the live stream. We don't support doing both at the same time. You know, don't live stream and tune unless you're parked somewhere. Then it's all right. But I don't want anybody driving down the road. So, yeah, exactly. Tuning an 06 Malibu SS. Fun. I don't even know what motor would be in the Malibu SS. Swapping a 91 Camaro. What are you putting in there, Dave? Give me the deets. Give me the details. 3.9. Put the 6 liter. Iron block or aluminum block, Dave? Did they make a Malibu SS wagon? Oh, Matt Lockerbie tried the Fuel FA. Unfortunately, no change, man. I mean, it's tough. I don't know if this is one I'm going to be able to solve on the live stream. Good old iron block. Just try not to overheat. You personally or your vehicle, Mike Few. Had to change wideband. Returning now. Which wideband did you have to change out? After playing with the DD tables, I got the lurch just after ironed out. Sweet. All in the driver demand, huh? Oh, yeah, the Max SS. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yep, I know what you're talking about now. Hey, Jerry, finally got all your parts. I feel your pain, brother. I'm going to look this up. Max SS. These things got to be dirt cheap, right? Is there on cars.com? 4,000, 3,700. Here's one for, well, that's an LS. Did they make an actual SS? They made an LTZ. I mean, that's kind of hard to call a wagon. It's more of a hatchback. Here's one. Here's a, it looks like a Caprice on the front end. I'll be honest with you. I mean, that looks like a car only a mother could love. A face only a mother could love. That thing is ugly. $11,000. Yes, they do look like a Dodge Caliber. 3900 V6 with here. We won't turbo, but we'll put something that looks like a turbo on top of it. In typical Chevy interior, just complete and total junk. Whoa! Now that's cool. I dig that. Okay. I'm warming up to the idea. It's got a TV in the back seat with the DVD player. Ah, it's the actual dual runner. Gotcha. That makes sense. A car that actually uses a dual runner setup. TikTok emblem on the engine. Okay. That's enough of that. Fun stuff. So, okay. You like the HHR? Blah. The panel van versions of the HHRs aren't that bad. I'll give you that. Even trade for a Viper. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Jonathan actually has a question. I had P0606 because when I copied all differences, it got my throttle area tables from the old Silverado tuned. Figured out and reflashed Corvette stuff back in. Glad you got sorted out, Jonathan. That would make sense, though. 5.3 T56 with the Vet throttle and pedal on it. Sweet. Good news. What up, Danny? What a Golf wants to be. Tell you, it's the same thing with the Magnum. It's a shame that they don't do the Magnum. Yeah, species doing pretty good. I don't sound like I'm drunk all the time, unless I've been drinking. Then I sound a little slurry. But, yeah. Listen, I can turn it up until it's way bad. I can totally ruin my speech. Want to LS swap a Magnum? There's got to be those out there. Yeah. I think they're decent looking. I mean, obviously, they're not as good looking as the CTSV wagons, but Brad, the Viper is in storage. And until the Typhoon is done, that's where it must stay. Do you like V-bands over 2 3-bolt flanges? Yes. Man, I just feel like 2-bolt flanges leak. Ah, sweet. Okay, Mike's going to the track, dial into 60 foot. CTSV wagons just gotten stupid. Some pointers on VE tuning portion. It's an E67 Scott. Do a lot of hand smoothing. Okay, so you copy the data from your histogram into your virtual volumetric efficiency table. Fill in the spots where you don't have data. That'll make a huge difference. It's not like you can just copy and paste by half and then calculate. Whenever you do that, it's going to try and calculate the zones for you, but it's going to try and correct based on the data that you put in there. Just take the time, take the extra 5 minutes, that's usually all it takes, to blend in the areas where you didn't capture data, and it'll go a lot smoother. So, found melted wires. Yeah. Danny put it in your 83. Dude, I feel you. Melted wires, man. I'll ruin it. Yeah, that's. I think people are still possibly doing face swaps with Magnums and 300s. Ball and sockets may be the way to go on exhaust, to be honest with you. That may be the correct answer for having good joints that don't leak and are easy to work with. Okay, Schmidt, good question. Have you heard of issues with the MPVI3 where the light just turns from green to flashing blue and back to green and doesn't record anything? Is this whenever you're trying to do standalone scanning? Yeah, Jonathan, one of the cars that I'm tuning right now, I'm on the virtual volumetric efficiency on it, and I've been spending a lot more time hand smoothing than I normally do, and it is going very quickly. The other way, as Scott Palmer says, is the individual zones graph, and it can be a nightmare to set up, but once it's set up, it does help because then you're looking at particular zones. I wish that HP tuners would highlight the zones for you just to make it quicker. I've not seen the new K-Tech drop-in pump for the LT4Z01Vs. I'll have to go out. I've not been to K-Tech's website in a while, Brad. Well, Schmidt, I'm wondering if it's when he's trying to do standalone or if it's whenever he's plugged in. That's what I'm asking. Jeff, awesome, man. Of course. Glad to help you. Any idea how to get the Bluetooth to work? Okay, so no, Mike. I've used Bluetooth once, and I just don't find that it's worthwhile. Because you can only data log on it, and so it's just like plug the cable in. I say that, but on the Corvette, on the Z06, I want to say I did a lot of Bluetooth logging, but said HP tuners aware, but no updates. Oh yeah, in fact, now that you're saying that, Justin, the buddy that I race with around here, put a 5.3 with a 4L80 in it, and I think he used the Hooker Blackheart engine mounts, and the drive shaft worked on that. But that also came with the new trans cross member. I think I don't know all the details. If he's watching, he might type it in here. He's working on the cold side of his turbocharger setup tonight. At least he better be. So, will you guys have any interest in me doing a video on the brake setup that I'm installing on the Typhoon? Does anybody want to see it? It's a little bit unique. Modifying the front spindles. The back is totally unique because technically Willwood doesn't make a bolt-on kit. Okay. Yeah, I'll do a rundown of it tomorrow or Saturday and shoot like a 15-minute video and show you guys kind of what I've been doing on it. Okay. That works. Just want to make sure. Well, I appreciate you guys. Of course, you guys are, we got 50 people in here that are the hardcore 50 people, and that's why I do this live show, to hang out with you guys every week. There are any OBD2 plug-in devices that I can record select data over multiple drive cycles recording to an SD card? Steve, that's a good question. I might have to do some research on that, because I like where your head's at on this, and you could use it with Megalog Viewer, since it can import logs that are in like basically Excel files, and you could do some really cool stuff that way. But because OBD2 is a standard, a lot of the parameters are standardized across multiple vehicles. Now, mind you, the MPVIs will do this. They have an SD card internally built in. They do have the ability to do standalone data logging that records multiple logs on multiple drive cycles on the card. So they do offer it. It is there. If you have an MPVI 3, you have it automatically. It comes with it. If you have a 2 or a 2 Plus, you have to pay for it. Auto Open Pro, Jonathan Blunt says. Okay. David, I've used those in the past. They're all right. Yeah, Steve, you can look up how much the Pro feature unlock is. It's probably like $150. And if it's that much, is probably worth just doing the trade-in if it's back open. Yeah, Mike, I saw that. I appreciate that, man. Raspberry Pi using Auto Open Pro. Jonathan, I'll have to look that up. Oh, gotcha. Well, you can get OBD2 gauges that'll let you set a couple of parameters that you can see as a gauge. They're like $50 on Amazon. So Auto Open Pro. Open Auto Pro. Open Auto Pro. I think that's what you meant, right? Oh, this is a custom head unit solution. Maybe not. So this is cool. This is cool. How much and how does IAT affect your tune? So IAT is a calculation that does a couple things. One of the main things is it's used for calculating density whenever you're in volumetric efficiency or SD mode. So whenever we're on mass airflow, we are measuring mass, and temperature is a part of mass measurements. But whenever we go over to speed density, temperature is not a part of that. And so the table has to be scaled. That's why we have temp corrections. Then we have IAT versus ECT, which is also based on how much airflow is going. It changes whether it skews more IAT or ECT, and those are things that you can adjust. And so it can cause you to run rich or lean in that aspect. It also is used for some timing adjustments. So whenever it's really cold, it may advance timing. And of course, whenever it gets really hot, it starts pulling timing. Does Corvette 2 need IA2 enabled? IT2 enabled. It depends, Jonathan. What year is yours? Where's my editor at? Brad says if it's an LT4, IT2 is calculated. Unless it's a T-map. If it's got a T-map, then it's not calculated. IT2 is coming from the T-map. If it's 2014 Vet NA, it's not going to have an IA2. Any way of getting rid of surging or cold start issues with an E85? Yeah, it should. E85. Yeah, there's no reason that you should be had surging on E85 and then not on gasoline. You might need to touch up your VE tables. Why is this all messed up? Name. Oh, you're saying the T-map shows up as manifold air temp. Gotcha. So is there anything that would use an IAT2? I'm asking you, Brad. I don't know of anything. But that doesn't mean. Well, does the LT4 doesn't even have it. Because it's got a T-map. Let's see here. Sensor config SCIAP TIAP. So throttle inlet, supercharger inlet, supercharger. Oh, it does have the sensor curve in there for IAT2. Just math on the MAF temp sensor. Okay. Gotcha. Where's a good place to start on the MAF frequency table with a 4-inch air intake on the Vet? 3D printed intake, going to be finishing SD tuning too soon. Scale it. Try scaling it. So go in there and take a measurement of what the cross section was on the last intake. Take a measurement on the new intake. And then say it's 30% bigger. Add 30% to your table. That generally gets you in the ballpark and allow you to get going down the road. ECU automatically calculate for E85 if you have the sensor. Well, as long as the settings are enabled. You do have to enable, like plugging the sensor in doesn't do anything until you enable the flex fuel settings. But once you enable the flex fuel settings, yeah. And underneath your fuel tab, you'll have a Stoic AFR button that opens up the table that shows, based on the alcohol percentages, what the AFR ratio changes. Remember, if we're tuning an EQ ratio, though, it's always going to be one EQ regardless of the fuel being used. I don't honestly know, Andrew. There's some tables that use a reference temp that'll use like the ambient air temp as a fallback, but it's not. It's only if the IAT fails. So MAT on the LT4 is used to calculate IAT for timing. Gotcha. Gen 3 stays in open loop acceleration when coming to a stop and runs bad until you get back on the gas put in park. Canadian, did you turn DFCO back on? Because it sounds like if that's the case, you just need to get out of DFCO and allow it to cut fuel on deceleration. If I zero out the IAT2 table on the tune instead of keeping the frequency table, will this affect anything? Try it and see. It's the only way we know. Probably won't affect anything, but until you try it and see, who knows? Hey, Bill. A lot of IAT talk tonight. A lot of temp sensor talk tonight. If you use an old laptop screen and get an HDMI adapter to screen with correct driver, then you can use a better screen than the Phoenix. It's not a bad idea. I wonder if it's... I need to dig more into this Open Auto Pro. Because I guess I could use a Raspberry Pi with an HDMI output and go to my existing head unit in the Typhoon. I need to dig into the software and see if it has CAN bus communication features and if it's programmable. But that's a project for another time. Oh, now they're flowing in. Yep, thanks for the thumbs up, people. Thanks. The little hearts are popping up over here. It makes me feel loved. It makes me feel loved. There's so many hearts. Yeah, Mad Mark, IATs are warm this time of year. Dude, the last thing I need to do is start thinking about ideas like this. Curious on its cost after the first year. Why do you say that? One-time payment with the application, 1 year software updates free of charge. Okay, so I'm sure it's probably the same thing. If you get a year of updates and then after the first year, it'd be another $30 for updates or something. I mean, it's $30 for the software. It's not too bad. Not too bad. So... Oh yeah, there's a whole line of stuff here that it can do. Pre-configured support of YouTube. Well, I mean, at least if you buy this, you can watch YouTube. Support of OBD2 protocol based on the LM327 adapter, the cheap ones. Definition of custom OBD2 PIDs and gauges. Ability to create up to 8 new OBD2 dashboards. You know, I wonder if this is what my buddy is running on his EcoBoost swapped Volvo. Yeah, exactly. Just what I need. Another project. Done any power sports tuning on HP tuners. Switched from Diojet to HP when they announced support for the Indian motorcycle, but there's not really info out there on them. Fair enough. I have not... But if you have a copy of your tune, email it to me. I'd love to take a look at a stock tune for an Indian motorcycle at info@goatropegarage.com. Where are we at? Charge temp bias to tune for lean on hot IAT did not work for me. Ended up having to use injector flow versus IAT. That's interesting. I mean, I don't understand why that wouldn't work if you have an injector flow versus IAT, but charge temp bias generally will work. But good to know that it didn't. What am I doing? Stop. Ugh. What are you? Jonathan? What are you on that you have an injector flow versus IAT table? Danny, truck has dual taste count running 85 and 191 the other, and switch from track to street. As long as you got a flex fuel sensor, it'd be fine. Just make sure that you switch it quite a ways away. And hey, what up, PMW? Oh, 2014 vet. I don't have a 2014 vet on here. I don't think so, at least. Don't yell at me because I can't remember that you own a 2014 Vet. I don't even know what cars I own half the time. Oh, that's injector temp. Where are you finding this table at? I'm looking. Looking. Ugh. I hate DI motors. There's so many tables. Yeah, I know, Schmidt. Okay, Dennis. External idle load, let me just tell you that. You shouldn't need to mess with that. Shouldn't need to mess with external idle load. Essentially, it is the load of the devices attached to the motor, alternator, AC, all that stuff. If adjusting the external idle load helped with low end stuff, that means your virtual torque table is messed up in the low end. And generally what I find is that the virtual torque needs to be lowered in the low end. And a good way of seeing that is if you're idling at like 5 degrees of timing or less. And it sounds backwards to lower the torque, but lowering the torque will dial the timing up. Injector flovers, I don't have that. You don't have a 2014 Corvette. Don't lie to me. Is this not on E92? Were the 2014 Corvette's not an E92? I am at a loss here and it's making me angry. Danny, don't quote me on the P01 stuff. I don't know which ones you can do segment swaps to get the flex fuel sensors. There's somebody, the information is out there, but don't ask me. That's not anything that I ever did enough of to learn. Corvette. Why is it an E38? You don't have a 2014 then. It's 20. You have a 2014 Vet with a manual LS3 and an E38 in it. .2014 is a Stingray. Not a 2014, maybe. Yeah, well, no, E38 continued beyond that in the Camaros. But 2014, it here, I'll open to 2012. Okay, flow rate versus IAT. I'm over here looking at a 2014 tune, and I'm like, you were smoking crack. Yeah, E38 went a couple years beyond that, but most of them in 2014 switched over to the E98. So the Corvette, the Silverados, stuff like that. Holy crap, 122 pairs of shoes. The LS3 only came in a Camaro in 2014. Shame on you, Jonathan. Shame on you. You're gaslighting me, making me feel like I was making me feel like I'm crazy over here. But yes, that makes a lot more sense. Which is interesting. Let's go to the whiteboard. No, you're fine, man. It makes 2013. Still not a Corvette. They didn't make a Corvette in 2013. Did they? I thought 2012 was the last year of the C6. Here's the table he's talking about, though. And as you can see from the factory, oops, dragging the wrong window. From the factory, it has no corrections. It's a modifier. As it says, it's a flow rate modifier. One means it's just going to take the flow rate output, multiply it by 1, not change anything. Need more fuel at certain temperatures. Say if you're starting getting lean at 140 and above, stuff like that, you can, bump it up 5% or something. You guys are funny. Cracking me up. Where'd my mouse cursor go? Yeah, Levi, most likely it is your transient if that happens. But be aware, there's a thing. Wrong window. There is a thing that you can be running into, and that is running super lean because of delay in the wideband reading. So if you're running at like 1 as you're cruising and you stab it and it still stays at 1, then it goes rich, but it populates red cells, you're not running lean in that section because of transient. You're running lean in those cells because of the widebands just takes too long to read. 2013. Okay, so they did make a C6 2013. I couldn't remember. I believed you on that one. I just didn't think it was a 2014. Hey, Joe. But it's probably a transient fuel problem. And, look at your impact factor. Try bumping your impact factor up under transient. See if that'll help. Essentially, all that's going to do is try and put more fuel on the walls of your intake runners. That way, whenever you do open up the throttle, it's evaporating fuel off the walls. So. Exactly. And it's not even in a 2013 Corvette. It was a tune off the HV Tours repository. You butthead. But you did say E38 at some point in time up there. I did go back and look where I asked you for the 4th time tonight if it was what you were talking about. And you said E38. That I should have caught on to that a lot quicker. Shoes are a passion. Exactly. KR in here. She's like, she's representing. Thank you. I was wondering if you were here tonight. It's good to see you. She's representing, saying shoes are a passion, just like builds are a passion. If you got more than one build, listen, if you've got more than one build, it's like owning 200 pairs of shoes. And so if you've got 3 builds, it's like owning 400 pairs of shoes. Let's be honest here. Andrew, I think we're just going to have to ban Jonathan. Put user in timeout. I didn't even know that was an option. Put user. Jonathan's in timeout. I don't know for how long. Jonathan, I apologize. It just deleted all of your messages. And now he can't talk. Don't hate me. I don't know how to take you out of timeout. I've never had to do this. Jonathan's cool. He won't care. I'll go through. Exactly. You guys are killing me. Okay. Jonathan, I'll double check the settings and make sure I can take you out timeout. Hold on. I figured that it would ask me how long to put you in timeout, and it didn't even ask me. It just deleted all of your messages and oh. Let's see. Where's community? Make sure that you're not in the hidden users. You should be good. Sorry, Jonathan. Okay, let's wrap it up. Now Jonathan's in jail. How do I undo this? It's really bugging me now. You got to put in time. Well, you didn't get put in timeout by me. One of your videos you added in. Oh, well, my thought process has changed on that since that video. So, I'll be honest with you. You can't even say bye now. I feel so bad. If I click it again, does it undo it? No. I should probably quit clicking it. It's probably just putting you in timeout again. I'll find out. YouTube user in timeout. Timeout times 2. Oh, it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. Okay. It's probably 10 minutes now. Exactly. Okay. So, Jonathan, that's what you get for your 2014 Corvette. Okay, everybody, we're going to wrap it up. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions. We kind of got off the rails here at the end. Fun night. I'll see you guys next Thursday. And remember, ABT and owning a project car is tantamount to having 200 pairs of shoes. Thanks for stopping by the garage.